Cheesy the Podcast, presented by Just Cheesy Productions.
Hi there, I'm your host Fondue.
I'm Cheesy.
In this week's episode, we're going to talk all about robots and cheese.
Robots.
We're going to find out about a fleet of cheese delivery robots.
Whoa.
We're talking grilled cheese,
Ooh.
cheese care, and cutters.
Whoa.
We're even going to learn about a couple of robots that have the same name.
What?
And of course, no episode would be complete without our very cheesy joke.
Gotta love a joke.
Stay tuned for episode 173, Robo Cheese, on Just Cheesy, the podcast. We're going to start out this episode with my favorite segment.
This week in cheese. This week?
Yes, I know this didn't actually happen this week,
Yeah.
but it did happen in the last few weeks.
Okay.
This article spurred the entire episode.
Whoa.
According to prweb.com, Cracker Barrel, yeah, you heard it, Cracker Barrel,
Cracker
used
Barrel.
AI-powered robots
Really?
to give cheese sticks to fans during the Super Bowl.
Holy cow.
Can you believe this? These cheese robots roamed more than 500 combined miles through New Orleans,
Whoa.
leading up to the big game.
Holy cow.
So they sent out 50 of these AI-powered food delivery robots all across New Orleans.
Whoa.
In order to interact with the cheese-carrying robots, there was a scannable QR code.
Neat.
Fans could scan the code and get their free cheese.
Wow.
And these cheese delivering robots aren't the only ones that are out there.
Whoa.
According to electormagazine.com, there is a robotics course at the University of Technology in Delft in the Netherlands.
Whoa.
And they had a project where they designed a cheese manufacturing robot.
Wow.
These robots are used to transport 26-pound wheels of cheese from one area of production to the other.
Wow.
And of course, they gave it a pretty cool name. They called it Moonlander
Oh,
because
wow.
obviously they said the moon is made of cheese.
Wow.
There was another school project at Carnegie Mellon University back in the fall of 2018.
Really?
This one is called Cheeseborg,
Aw.
like a cyborg, but made of cheese.
Yeah.
This robot is fully automated, voice activated, and they say it was built from scratch.
Wow.
This one uses Google Assistant and can even be used as part of a smart home.
Whoa.
They taught it how to make a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yum.
And apparently one of the biggest challenges was how to manipulate bread and cheese repeatedly.
Yeah.
They used a vacuum lift mechanism inspired by industrial robotic manipulation of small electronics.
Wow.
But they said because bread is so porous and
Yeah.
cheese is so glossy,
Yeah.
they found it challenging to find a mechanism that could work for both.
Oh.
But they used a vacuum, and that seemed to do the trick.
Whoa.
And with a lot of mechanics later,
Yeah.
this thing was able to be controlled by Raspberry Pi, and it was activated by just saying, "Hey Google, make me a grilled cheese, please."
Nice.
The machine would stack the bread, the cheese, then the bread, then it slides it over a platform toward the grill, and it butters it on a station
Whoa.
and sprays the bottom.
Hmm.
And then it places it on the grill, it sprays it again.
Huh.
Then the grill closes, it cooks,
Whoa.
and then it is perfected
Oh.
for ooey gooey grilled cheese.
Yum.
It opens, it kicks the sandwich out, and then you can enjoy.
Holy cow.
There's a video about this cyborg on the website tabb.me.
Nice.
The cyborg robot is not a sponsor.
Nope.
But if it was, the ad would go right here. Have you ever wanted to listen to the web?
Yeah.
Well, Newsly makes that possible.
They do?
They're an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android.
Super app.
You can listen to trending articles on the web on topics that you choose and get them read to you in a natural human voice.
What kind of topics?
Sports,
Cheese?
tech, business, science.
Cheese?
I'm sure there's even cheese.
Yay.
They even have an entire section for podcasts.
Are we there?
Of course we are.
Ooh.
It's one of my new favorite podcast apps. They even have digital radio.
Holy cow.
Just go to www.newsly.me to download it free.
Whoa.
Or use the link in the description. If you use the promo code CHEESY,
Cheesy.
that'll get you 1 month free premium subscription.
Yay. Newsly.
Now, back to the podcast. According to science.ku.dk, there's another university at Copenhagen, and they're working on robot technology.
Wow.
This robot illuminates cheese with a near-infrared light.
Okay.
It shines this light through 2 metal tubes, and they're inserted directly into the soft cheese curd.
Wow.
This tube then sends back light wavelengths, which are stored as data about the cheese on a computer.
Wow.
They say here that analyzing this light allows them to map the chemical fingerprints of a cheese.
Whoa.
This includes fat, protein, protein and carbohydrate content.
Really?
This allows them to tell if it meets quality standards like safety, texture, and taste.
Whoa.
The cool thing about it is it can monitor cheese at a very early stage in the process.
Ooh, that's nice.
They say it can tell right away if something is off with the cheese, and that it can actually notify the dairy if they need to make adjustments to the recipe.
Whoa.
And different kind of cheese assistant robots are all over the place.
Are they?
According to Stobly.com, there's an Argentinian cheese manufacturer that has commissioned a fully automated production line.
Whoa.
NOAL processes more than 1.2 million liters of milk per day.
Holy
It's
cow.
one of the 5 largest dairies in Argentina.
Whoa.
These robots can fill molds with white curd.
Whoa.
They can handle the molds after they mature. They
Okay.
can pick up a mold that has already been disinfected and place it in a filling system.
Wow.
They also have another robot that can take the filled molds and stack them on a conveyor belt, 11 molds at a time.
Holy cow.
It says here it is a fully automated system, and the robots take over the central tasks of handling the product and containers.
Jeez.
They say the processing steps are filling the molds, fermentation, salting, separating, and cleaning the molds.
Wow.
There's a website out of Switzerland, Casero.com, and they show a whole bunch of cheese care robots.
Wow.
They've got one that can move up to 120 loaves per hour, one that moves 130, then one that moves 200 boards an hour.
Whoa.
And they've got all kinds of different flexible stationary cheese care systems.
Holy
We're
cow.
talking high-tech industrial machinery here.
Yeah, we are.
And this isn't the only website for that type of equipment.
It's not?
One is called MatisseEquipment.com, and they have a cheese cutter.
Whoa.
This thing can precisely weigh and slice cheese.
Wow.
It's got a table scale, and it has a powerful guillotine, they say,
Guillotine.
which can efficiently and consistently slice big, giant wheels of cheese.
Whoa.
We've got another cheese-related recall. According to MassLive.com, the FDA has recalled 4,246 cases of Feel Good Foods 3 cheese mac and cheese bites.
Aw.
And these are being recalled for foreign objects.
Oh, no.
The recall states that the boxes could potentially contain metal pieces.
Ooh.
They say this is the second highest risk level for consumers.
Ooh.
This means the use or exposure to the products with potential contamination poses a remote threat of serious adverse health consequences.
Be careful.
Be on the lookout for these products at the following stores:
Okay.
Stop and Shop, Target, Market Basket, and Hannaford's.
Wow.
According to robotwars.fandom.com, there was a big robot called the Big Cheese.
Of course.
This was a large, classic wedge-shaped robot. It was designed to look like a piece of cheese.
No
It was
way.
armed with a large rear-hinged red hydraulic lifting arm,
Whoa.
and it was capable of lifting a Mini Cooper.
Like a car?
Yeah, the car.
Yeah.
It says here the arm was made from Kevlar and titanium.
Whoa.
And it even had a bladed tip on the end of the lifting arm.
Eek.
They say the arm could be used to pin down opponents.
What?
They said it could lift about 500 kgs, which is 1,212 pounds.
That's so
And they
much.
said not only could it lift it, but it could drive around with it as well.
Whoa.
The interior of the machine featured guided missile and submarine components.
Holy cow.
They said it was fast and very maneuverable
Yeah.
and very dangerous,
Whoa.
although it only really went 5 miles an hour.
Wow.
But the arm actually had the ability to self-right, but it failed in the last round because it was not working at full power.
Aw.
And we'd heard about this one before, but according to cheeseprofessor.com, in California, there's a place called Farmstead Cheese.
Yeah.
And they got a cheese robot back in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
And this thing flips and brushes large wheels of cheese, and they had a contest on Instagram to name it, and they called it Tina Turner.
Tina Turner.
And interestingly enough, according to westcombdairy.com, this is a dairy in the UK, and
Okay.
they also have a turning machine. And guess what the name is?
Big cheese.
No, Tina the Turner.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. There are 2 different dairies across the world from each other with robots named Tina Turner.
I'm ready for a joke, Fondue.
Okay, what did the robot say at the cheese tasting?
No idea.
I'm programmed to appreciate good culture.
Oh,
Get it? Culture, because there's cultures in cheese.
It's silly.
Oh, it really wasn't silly,
Yeah, it was.
but it was a little bit cheesy. Thanks for listening to Just Cheesy the Podcast, episode 173, Robo Cheese.
Thank you.
We hope that if you love our podcast,
And you do.
you're giving it a thumbs up,
Yeah.
you're liking it,
Yeah.
you're subscribing and downloading anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Download, like, subscribe, and stay cheesy, everybody.